I have been waiting and waiting to make this video. So the Steelers and Mike McCarthy have finished putting together the coaching staff. There are 25 people, from what I understand, versus 22 on Mike Tomlin's staff. So, don't know if that includes the head coach or not. I can do a quick count here. Okay, it does not include Mike McCarthy. So, lots of previous announced hires with two notable ones. We were waiting to hear on a tight end coach, which is Robert Kugler. And quarterbacks / game management. So is he a quarterback management and game management? How does that work out? Tim Burbanich. Okay. Is this a thing? Ooh, much better. Offensive coordinator Brian Angelichio. I believe that's how you pronounce his last name. Now, fun fact. He is actually from my dad's hometown. And it's not a very big, town. It's 7,000 people, something like that. Not huge. So, now he didn't grow up with my dad or anything, but there's a couple people we know, whether through friends or family, that actually did go to school with him, which is kind of cool. And then he also coached in like 1995. He coached at my alma mater, Rockport. So that's kind of cool. Those couple of connections. Then quarterbacks coach, still Tom Marth. Offensive line is now James Campen. Running backs, Ramon. I would say Raymond. Chin Young Sr. Wide receivers, Adam Henry. Tight ends, Robert Kugler. Senior offensive assistant, Frank Signetti Jr. He is Kurt's brother. So Kurt, the head coach at Indiana, this is his brother. Assistant offensive line coach, Jari Evans. Evans played, I think, most of his career with the Saints, and then I guess he had 1 year with the Packers from, I haven't checked like Wikipedia or anything, but he had like 1 year with like the Packers. But he was a finalist for the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and whenever you get someone that did it at a high level, if there's any knowledge that they can pass on. Now, sometimes those guys are terrible coaches because they just relied on their raw talent. But if there's anything he can contribute, that'd be cool. Game management / quarterbacks, Tim Burbanich. Offensive quality control, Eric Simonelli. Defensive coordinator is Patrick Graham. He came over from the Raiders. Assistant head coach and secondary coach, Joe Witt Jr. Defensive pass game coordinator and defensive backs coach, Jason Simmons. Defensive line, Domata Peko. Now, if anyone's like, hey, that sounds familiar, that would be because he played for the Bengals. And he was just coaching, was it Colorado? With Deion Sanders? So, going from coaching their D-line to our D-line. Outside linebackers, CJ Ayu, God bless you. Inside linebacker, Scott McCurley. He returns. Defensive assistant, Sean Howe. Howe, probably. And another defensive assistant, Pat Riley. Special teams coordinator is Danny Crossman. He was that with the Dolphins, I believe. Senior special teams assistant, Darius Swinton II. Strength and conditioning. Head strength and conditioning is Mark Lovat, Director of Performance Integration and Sports Science. Grant Thorne. Strength and conditioning assistants. I'll just combine them. Assistants. Justice Galak and Abe Munayer. Then we have a chief of staff, Steve Scarnecchia. If anyone's like, hey, I know that last name. His father coached with the Patriots for a very, very long time. So that is all 25, with 2 of them being well known returners. I mean, if one of those guys was a strength and conditioning coach, we're not going to know strength and conditioning coaches. So really, and they wanted to bring back the secondary coach, Alexander, but he ended up getting a job somewhere else. So otherwise, we would have brought back 3 coaches. So it is a very, very different coaching staff from what we had last year and years prior, obviously. Arth was only brand new last year, and I think the same of Scott McCurley. They only came last year to the Steelers. So it's practically a brand new staff. In total, McCarthy's staff has 25 coaches when you include strength and conditioning, and Mike Tomlin's last year had 22 for comparison. So we gained 3 coaches. And I know an issue some people have had with Tomlin is saying that his coaching staff was too small. That it should be a bigger staff. And we're actually going to look at the number for each team. So according to each NFL team's official website as of today, February 12th, here is a list of the total number of coaches for each club. At the top of the league, you have Seattle, San Fran, and the Chargers, all sitting at 30. So Seattle just won the Super Bowl, San Fran, divisional round, and the Chargers lost in the wild card round. They're all at 30. Chicago, divisional, 29. Atlanta, missed the playoffs, 29. Indy, missed the playoffs, 28. Jacksonville, wild card, 28. New England was in the Super Bowl, 27. Cleveland, 27. Carolina, wild card, 27. Philadelphia, divisional, right? No, they lost in the wild card, 26. Detroit missed the playoffs, 26. Green Bay wild card, 26. Baltimore missed the playoffs, 26. Now, this could have changed from last year, obviously with new coaching staffs, but this is just what their most recent result was and now. Denver, who was in the AFC Championship at 25, Dallas 25, the Jets 20, Dallas missed the playoffs, Jets missed the playoffs, Minnesota missed the playoffs, and Pittsburgh, who lost in the wild card, 25. Washington missed the playoffs, 24. Cincy, 24, missed the playoffs. New Orleans missed the playoffs, 24. Arizona missed the playoffs, 24. Kansas City missed the playoffs, 24. Buffalo, divisional, 21. Houston, divisional, 21. Tampa missed the playoffs, 20. The Rams, just in the divisional round, 19. And Las Vegas 15, but they just brought in Kubiak, so he still has to hire staff. So, if you take the lowest teams that are like, say, 19, 20, 21 versus the top of the league, 28, 29, 30. Pittsburgh being at 25, we're basically right in the middle. And I am excluding the staffs that are still being completed because they are registering a 1. So if you really look at it right now, we have basically an average sized staff. Whereas if we were still sitting at 22, we'd be on the lower end. But right now, I would say we're about average in terms of coaching staff size. Now, obviously, this does not take into account the head coach. Because like we saw, we counted 25, and that did not count McCarthy. So we have this here from the Steelers social media page. You have this here. Shows us all of the coaches, their pictures with their names and titles. And here's that there. So there are some here that Mike Tomlin never had. Mike Tomlin never had a chief of staff. And from my understanding, and I don't know if he ever really had game managers. Now, he probably had someone that would tell him yes or no, challenge this. But Mike Tomlin, he never called plays on offense or defense, even though he was a defensive-minded head coach who, before he was with Pittsburgh, he was the defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings. But Mike McCarthy, he's going to be calling the offensive plays. So with Mike Tomlin not calling any plays, he was free to manage the game. He's able to observe. He knows what's going on because he's watching it just like we are. Mike McCarthy, he's going to be partially focused on calling plays, partially focused on the game. So basically he's going to call a play, and he's like, okay, depending on the result, we're going to go to this, or this, right? If it's a loss of yardage, we're going to go to this. If it's no game, we're going to go to this. If it's a short game, we're going to go to this. Long game, we're going to go to this. Like, he's, trying to immediately go into the next play. Because you get, is it 25 seconds? From the whistle, play is over, because it cuts out for the quarterback their system, right? Their earpiece that's in the helmet. So you get from 40 to 15. At 15, it's going to cut out. So sometimes you like to get to the line early. And if you get to the line with 30 seconds left, and you can see or even 25 seconds left, and you get 10 seconds to talk to the quarterback and be like, hey, here's what we're seeing. You can try this, or that. But if you get there with 10 seconds left, you don't get that. He's got to do it on his own. Which with a young quarterback, you'd like to help him. An old experienced quarterback, he's like, I got this. I've seen everything. Brady had seen everything by the time he retired. So I can understand why he wants help with the smaller intricacies of like the course of a game. Hey, I'm focused on calling plays. I need someone to help me out here. tell me what's going on and make me aware of some things. So that's what some of the guys on the staff are going to do. Game management or whatever, player management. Whereas Mike didn't have to do that. I mean, Mike Macdonald, he just became the first defensive play calling head coach to win the Super Bowl. Like, they don't typically call defense. They're more focused. The offensive guys are like, nah, I'm calling the offense. So we did get those few extra guys, and maybe that's the difference. We need those few extra guys because he's going to be calling the offense. And you want to know what? When the defense is on the field, is he going to be paying attention? Yeah. But he's also got to be talking to the offense and the offensive coordinator and be like, okay, here's what we need. But he's still going to be trying to pay attention to what's happening on defense, because if it's a quick change and we need to be aware of something, or if he needs to challenge something, like, you know, he still has to pay attention. So it's going to be a bit of a juggling act, I think. It'll be interesting to see. But yeah, that is his coaching staff. So I waited to make this video just because I didn't want to be like, hey, they've hired this guy. Hey, they've hired this guy. Hey, they've hired this guy. It would have been so much, and I'm just like, let me wait for them to finalize the staff. So that is it for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, please do leave a like. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn notifications on, and I will see all you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.